A lot of things happened when I was living at the condo and when I owned that other property. But eventually, the thing that happened is that I got tired of renting rooms. I got tired of having people in my space, and I wanted to just be by myself and have my own place just by myself. And then when my girlfriend at the time, wife now, we decided to take things seriously, we ended up moving back to her parents' house. And this is another moment for me that was really humbling. Um, I was used to being independent and I was used to having my own space, but I made a sacrifice to live at her parents' house so that we could save up and then buy a property. We not only decided to buy a property, but we decided to find a builder and then to build something, to get something built for us, which was a great move in retrospect. But when we were doing it, it was definitely a stretch. It was definitely a stretch for the amount of money that we had coming in. It was definitely a stretch for the mindset that we had at the time. But it was something that we did, and it's something that provided a sense of accomplishment for me and my wife. Um, we were we were in a single home. We designed everything. We would go to the design center and get like choose a bunch of different things about the house, from the flooring to the colors of the walls to the finishing, and it was great. It was a great experience, but at the same time, it was really costly, and it like finishing this project and being able to move into this place after a wedding was just such a great accomplishment for us and for a family as well, because remember, like I don't come from a family where my brothers and sisters have seen this before. So I was the first one in my family. My immediate family. Like I had like aunts and uncles that had done some stuff, but the kids that my mom had, the kids that my dad had, I was the first one to buy a place, and for me, it was really special. It was really special to be able to own a place. It was really special to have a place that I owned with my wife, and we just lived that life for a bit, where we were definitely consumers more, like spenders, consumers more than investors. We needed all the new shiny objects, like all the stainless steel appliances. We needed them. All the new nice furniture. We needed them. Everything new, we needed. Everything nice, we needed. Cars, new cars, we needed that. Everything new, we needed. And we felt like it was time to live, right? It was time to live. It was time to reward ourselves. But what happened is that as a result of doing like all of that, we just spent a lot of money. Some of the money we had, some money we didn't have, and we thought we'd be able to make it back, so we could pay back. So our wedding was really expensive. We had close to 300 people. It was a great party, amazing party, but it was too much. And then buying the house was expensive. And then when you buy a new house, you have to put all new furniture in it. You have to get all the new appliances. When you build a new house, you have to get a new like a fence. Like the fence is not there. You got to get like a bunch of different things that we didn't know about. So long story short, this has made it really tough for us at the beginning of our wedding, because we just had like so many expenses, on top of our living expenses. So we had our mortgage, We had cars. We had everything. Like we just had everything. And I didn't know better, so I thought this is how it's supposed to be. At the beginning, it's going to be a little bit tough, and it'll get better over time. But they kept being a reason to spend money. They kept being a reason to not get ahead. And as things went on, like we started to it started to be tough. And when it really really hit me, and when things really really got tough, and when I really got to a point where I felt like I needed help, was at some point, there was two of the properties. So basically we had three properties or primary residence plus the two condos. And at some point we got into a situation where the two condos were empty at the same time. And not only they were empty at the same time, but it also needed repair both at the same time. And that slapped me in the face, because when you're just like breaking even, or you're making a few $100, like a $100, or like you're losing a little bit of money at the end of the month, you don't feel it that much. But when you have your own place to pay for, you're paying a mortgage for your own place. On top of it, you're paying two mortgages, two extra mortgages. Plus, you also have to come up with money to repair the properties. Like these properties had not been maintained properly. Remember, I didn't have a budget. I did not have the knowledge. I didn't know that money needed to be put aside to be able to do the proper maintenance for these properties. So I just had them and I rented them. But over time, they just got worse and worse. And at this time, it was time to like rent them to new tenants, but it was time to also repair them before I could rent them to new tenants. So money started to just fly out the window. Savings started to dwindle down, and it was just awful. That is a moment that was really really low in my life. Um, you know, you have your wife looking at you like, was that a good choice? Like to do this? And then, I mean, she never said anything, but I'm wondering if she thought, was I a good choice? Because I had these ideals, and like I had these dreams, but I didn't know what I was doing, and it was showing. Two properties, we were paying the mortgages, we were paying the repairs. I had a moving company at the time. All the work that I was doing with the moving company, like a lot of it went towards the properties. Um, I went from thinking that I had made it, to now I was in a position where my own my own place was at risk. My own living situation was at risk. My savings were going down. My peace was being affected. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think. It was hard for me. It was really, really hard. And I started looking for help again, because I remembered that I had gotten help before. I had someone in my corner. I had a coach. I had someone. I had a friend. I had someone that could help. And I started just thinking about, you know what? Let's look at options. I remember going to church one day, and I prayed about it, and I went to church and I said, you know what? This is my financial situation. I don't know what to do, but I want to sell some stuff. I I was thinking about selling the car. My wife and I talked about selling the place. We even considered potentially going back to her parents' home. Like we considered selling our home and then moving into one of the condos. All the options were on the table. And this is when you know, I was really low, and but at the same time, I always knew that one day this is going to be part of my story, and one day things are going to be different, and one day I'll be able to stand again and say, hey, you know what, like this situation didn't kill me. It was stressful. I'm not gonna lie, it was really stressful, and it was really tough and really big, and it could have broken and destroyed so many different relationships. Like, but my wife and I stayed together. We prayed together. We really humbled ourselves, ate that humble pie, and then I started making some moves so that I could get myself and my family out of that. And this is when I started looking at options really deeply. And then I found a coach. It was someone that I already knew from before. We had talked about real estate a few times. We had talked about doing some other business ventures, and it just was never the right timing, or like something always got in the way. And it was probably me that that got in the way because he was always interested. But some way somehow I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't think it was the right time. I didn't think he was the right person. Maybe I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just not the right timing. But I always denied the opportunity until I just was in a situation where I was open to anything, anything. Um, so that's what happened. Like I went to an event that he was putting on. It was about being an ultimate entrepreneur, and I learned, and it was just like a shift. That day I went to that event, it was a shift because I was like, okay, like there's another way to do things, and I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm not gonna give up until I figure it out, and I'm gonna turn around my situation, my family situation, and will never be in this situation ever again. And that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. The next 2 years after that, I spent time, energy, money, blood, sweat, and tears learning about multi units, selling the condos. Every year, like one year I sold one, next year I sold the other one. We made some profit. We got out of that, and then we put all our energy towards multi units. And then I learned how to work as a team again, which is something that I had forgotten. I learned how to go back to working as a team, working with other people, and then I just went all the way when it came to real estate. I decided to grow. I decided that I was not the right person to manage these properties. But I needed to redesign myself. You know how you do a flip on a property? I needed to flip my mind. I needed to flip myself into the person that could manage properties, that could manage finances, that could manage my finances, that could reduce my expenses, that could reduce my level of liabilities. I became the person that generated income from the moving business, from my job. I was the person that did great at work, did great at my moving business, and did great as well in learning and taking action when it came to real estate. And it just started. I just started to catch a wave when it came to I ended up meeting other people, learning about other things. So I was learning about multi units from this coach, and then I was learning about wholesaling from this coach, and then I was learning about raising capital from this person, and then all together I'd put this information together and make it mine, and then I'd go out and then take action, and then first deal, someone like one of my coach mentor made it possible for me to participate in a deal. It was a great deal. Like started really heavy, started big, 36 unit, first shot. I had seen like I had made an offer on a 9 unit. I was looking at a 217 unit that my wife had found, and these deals were too big. The 200 plus unit was too big. The 9 unit was not the right one, but then the 36 unit was a deal that made sense. It made perfect sense. We went in, and then that was our first win, and then found another one. There was another opportunity for me to jump into something. This one was an 11 unit, and these deals I was putting my own funds, putting my own money into it, and learning while I was investing. This is a great way to do things. I say that all the time to people, and sometimes they feel like I'm trying to, you know, bring them to a certain direction. But if you have some funds and you want to learn about real estate, it's not a bad thing to find someone that is investing in real estate and investing some of your own money into their deals so that you can learn, grow at the same time, and then gain the confidence necessary to do your own deals later, which was my path. I started by investing my own funds into other people's deals that I trusted, and then I went from that to being partners on deals, and then doing my own deals. So over the years, like I've done many deals. There was much more deals to be made, but that was my journey. My journey was to start small, not knowing what I was doing, and then over time growing to being in a position where now like I can do deals in any city in Canada. I'm looking at the States. We have a lot of investors that are interested in investing with us. I've invested like funds, my funds. I've invested other people's funds. I've done some deals with no money down. I've been part of deals with joint venture like agreements with vendor takebacks. I've paid off my car. I've paid off credit cards.